I get it when you're staring at the treadmill aisle or scrolling endless pages online. The biggest question is, will this actually work for me? Or am I just spending money on something that ends up as a fancy coat rack? I've been there, watching friends try to squeeze a jog into a cramped apartment and ending up frustrated because the machine either feels too stiff, doesn't fit the space, or just doesn't give the challenge they were hoping for. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. So let's talk about the Sunny Health and Fitness Smart Treadmill and figure out whether it's the right fit for your home gym before you pull the trigger. First off, the biggest hesitation people have with a treadmill like this is the incline and decline feature. A lot of entry-level models only go up to a modest 10% grade, which feels more like a gentle hill than a real workout. This Sunny model pushes that to a 45% auto incline and even a -3% decline, which is a pretty dramatic range. The question is whether you actually need that kind of slope. If you're training for mountain trail runs, want to really burn calories by simulating steep climbs, or just love the feeling of a hill sprint without leaving your living room, those numbers become useful. If you're mainly walking the dog on a flat path or doing light cardio, you might never tap into that extreme range and end up paying for a feature you don't use. Now, let's picture a typical day. You roll the treadmill out of the box, plug it in, and the console lights up with a few pre-programmed workouts. The first thing you notice is the deck 20 inches wide, which feels generous compared to the 16-inch lanes you see on budget models. The dual shock absorbing system does a decent job of softening each footfall, so even if you're doing a high incline climb, your joints don't feel like they're being slammed into concrete. I tried a 30-minute hill climb on the 25% setting and the impact was noticeably lower than my old treadmill, which makes longer sessions more comfortable, especially if you have knee concerns. The handrail system is another practical detail that often gets glossed over in marketing copy. This treadmill offers 3 grip positions, a high rail for tall users, a mid-rail that feels natural for most, and a low dual grip that lets you swing your arms more freely during sprints. When I was walking at a leisurely 2.5 miles per hour, the mid-rail gave me a subtle sense of balance without feeling restrictive. During a high incline interval, I dropped to the low grip, which let my shoulders relax and prevented the usual handrail fatigue you get when you're holding on too tightly for too long. One of the hidden trade-offs is noise. The motor is rated for commercial-level use, and while it's quieter than many home gym treadmills, you'll still hear a faint hum when you crank up the speed or incline. In a shared apartment, that hum can travel through thin walls, so if you have roommates who work from home or a baby sleeping in the next room, you might want to schedule your cardio sessions during quieter periods. The treadmill does have an auto-incline feature that adjusts the slope based on the program you select, which eliminates the need to fiddle with a manual lever, but the motor does have to work harder during those steep climbs, which is where the sound peaks. Who should buy this? If you're a serious home exerciser who wants a machine that can mimic outdoor terrain, think hikers, trail runners, or anyone looking to push their cardio intensity without buying a bulky commercial treadmill, this is a solid contender. The wide deck and shock absorption make it comfortable enough for longer runs, and the multi-grip rails accommodate different body types and workout styles. It also fits nicely in a dedicated workout space. The footprint is comparable to a standard treadmill, so you can tuck it against a wall or under a desk when not in use. Who should skip it? If you're on a tight budget and only need a basic walking platform, the price premium for the extreme incline, decline, and shock system might not be justified. Also, if you live in a studio apartment with thin walls and late-night cardio is part of your routine, you may run into noise complaints. Finally, anyone who prefers a fully immersive running experience with a massive screen or integrated streaming workouts might feel limited, because the console here is functional but not a media hub. Let's talk about durability. The frame is steel, which feels sturdy, and the belt is a reinforced composite that holds up well under the stress of a 45% incline. In practice, after a few weeks of daily use including a couple of 45-minute hill intervals, the belt stayed aligned and didn't show the wobble you sometimes get on cheaper machines. The biggest practical weakness I observed is the folding mechanism. It's designed to fold upright for storage, but because of the extended incline motor, you have to lock the deck in place before you fold it, or else you'll